Okay. Should be good to get started here. Alright, so this is Genji versus Dignitas. This is game 1 of the 2018 HGC Finals. And in this one, we're looking at Rich, it looks like, on Fenix. So we will start this one up. It's going Arsenal Synergy, already practicing the weapon swapping timing. This is something that I've never done in the pregame start down, really. I mean, I do it very occasionally, but it never occurred to me that this would be something that you would want to do as a warm-up at the start or beginning of like an important game, so that you have the timing down. And and that's very, very important because this is game 1, and this is also like it's LAN, so it's going to be. I mean, it would be more different ping for me, but it shouldn't be too bad for a Korean player. But still, okay. So we're like 10 seconds in, and I've already learned something that I should be doing. Neat. It never occurred to me to do that. That's so weird. It seems obvious now.
4, 3, 2, 1. Slay the invaders.
Okay, looking at team comps, I would say both of these comps are pretty standard, it looks like. Especially for the time, this makes a lot of sense. Both of these comps look very, very standard to me. This is back when Toronto has the cleanse at level 1, and then it got moved to level 7, and then it got moved to like level 16. So, yeah, this was kinda good. Kinda. Just kinda good. Anubarak was very popular at the time. And Toronto and Malf were like the main two healers that I remember in this meta. So, again, it's weird that he's not on bomb, because like if it were me in this situation, I would dismount myself, but it allows the rest of my team to be mounted. But what I'm looking for is a bomb splash on whoever steps up, and that way I can potentially dismount like 2, 3, 4 different people on their side, and if we're mounted and they're not, that's good. Like I can dismount them and then back up immediately. I'm gonna have 6.5 range with repeater cannon mode or whatever. I think it's either 6 or 6.5. I can't remember, but yeah, that's what I would have done in this situation most likely. It also gets like poke damage on a tracer or something. They spawn the beetle, like Poik especially. It would be good to dismount because Jane is very immobile. So if you can reduce her mobility even further by dismounting her, then it just allows the rest of your team to, and she's very squishy, to potentially like catch her out, pick her off, whatever, or just she's not going to be able to engage on like reset or something and combo him at level 1 as easily, stepping up. But of course they're just focusing on wave clear as they should. See all 5 people on both teams in mid lane. That's something that's been different to the previous games I've looked at. Granted, those have been on some different maps. I forget what map the first game was on, but I know the second one was on Volskaya. I think the first one was Dragonshire, if I remember right. So this is maybe the same map. No, it wouldn't have been Dragonshire then. Might have been something else. Anyway. But yeah, they want to get ahead on wave clear here. You see Dignitas tank controlling we made a triangle bush, delta, whatever you want to call it. Bomb swapping there to clear wave. So it should be Hanzo bottom, Fenix holding mid. Hanzo doing camp is possible. It might still be better for Fenix to do camp. Or actually, Phoenix's wave clear is so fast, you can probably have both of them do it. And then, if you need to soak mid, you leave Anubarak mid and Tyrande to soak bottom. But you probably don't even need that, so you can just sit Anubarak bottom and have Tyrande, Fenix, and Hanzo all do the siege camp. Fenix cannot solo the bruisers very easily. He takes a lot of damage doing it, and so it's very risky, especially against like a Tracer and or a Yarel. So he'll likely not do that, so I'm wondering what their macro plan is early on in this game. He can trade into Snitch very easily, though. Man, that Tyrande cleanse is actually insanely broken. So it just straight up prevents Rich from dying here to the Garrosh. So in this situation, he uses Q, he's trading in a bomb. Even they're actually getting hit by this is kind of bad. Okay, so now he switches back to bomb. He's doing the same thing, it's just a little bit late, I feel like. And now he's doing the bomb swapping on the wave. He hit the front there. He's just hitting the front because it's way too dangerous to step up into Garrosh. Your bomb range does outrange his Q, but it's very slight. So now he's Q to trade into on the Urel once she jumps in. Get a bomb. He does it on JPL. Yeah. He's not really realistically in any threat here, though, because of the Anubrak in front of him, actually. Okay, so this one's fine. Sake is stepping kind of close, I feel like. I guess with JPL still in the lane, it's fine. And they already used root. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Never mind. So there he mounts up. Now he gets dismounted. You need, like, first of all, Tracer has no CC. She's no threat to you. But right now, you need to probably start walking up, and then my plan would be warp over this wall to get out. You also need to dismount him. You can dismount further than Garrosh Q range. So if you Q max range here, and you would actually maybe want to start it slightly this way so that if you're a little bit off on the timing and he's a little bit far, that the travel time will make up for that difference via his moving closer or like faster than you while you move straight up, so that he can't actually reach you. It'll dismount him, slow him, and then you can just escape and warp out. So that would be the correct play in this situation. Even still here, you shouldn't try and warp. You don't want to get warp interrupted. He just gets cleansed. He probably knows he's getting cleansed, so that's still fine. I think walking forward is maybe okay. Worst case scenario, you get thrown. I don't think root is back up in time. We can check that, though. It's this number. Yeah, root's not back up. So then he would get thrown, and then he would just have to get healing and warp out. Probably just warp immediately into towers in that case. He might get chased down by Tracer. She shouldn't have a bomb. She's pretty close to a bomb, actually, but she just used melee. Yeah, I think he would be fine in either situation here, but I still think he could have played it better with the Q. So instead, Tist gets thrown. Now he's trading in another bomb. Bomb splashes are just so good at chunking Tracer. Like, actually ridiculous how good that is. Boyk's controlling the bush. Hanzo's just safe soaking bottom. It's interesting that they're holding 3 people mid. They have Jaina, which is very superior wave clear early on. And so Hanzo's gonna have to stay bottom for much longer. And he can't rotate through Delta either. I'm still confused as to why they would do this. Is it just to look for a kill? Off the person, or off anyone stepping out too far? Because they're much more vulnerable mid than they are bottom, probably. It's interesting. I don't see teams do this very often. Good trading of bombs in. Again, here I would probably be targeting the lower minions, because the wave clear isn't as important to me as getting chip damage onto the Tracer. And it also possibly scouts the bush very slightly, but... Now he just clears, towers will clear it up, he mounts. This is good. So, they've Sonic Arrow'd this. I don't think they can invade. Just gets a good stun. Blocks the pulse bomb with a beetle, probably not intentional, and Snitch should probably be able to avoid that, but it's fine. Bomb splashing the giants. Switches to repeater at the right time. I feel like Snitch is using blinks like too often, but it's kind of weird. So now they have control of Delta. See, it's weird that Garrosh is like stepping up and doing this. They bring Malthael down for a potential invade. Once they see they're not going for it, because they see the owl and they see them all mid. This should be Jaina's job. Okay, Tracer should be on the camp, right? And this should be Jaina's job to clear mid. And then it should be... like, Jaina, and then Garrosh and Malf can step up here. Right? That's how I would play this. You don't want Jaina to be doing this camp. It uses way too much mana. Mana that could be spent on wave clear to speed up the rotations and allow you to invade, possibly. And you have spells near heroes so that you can stack Ice Block Quest. I feel like Snitch should be the one doing this camp, not Jaina. That's very strange to me. It would make a little bit more sense, as the mana's not really a concern if Zayli is there to give Innervates, but he's not. I mean, I guess you can get Innervate after, too, but still. Kind of strange, I feel like. I feel like I would have that be reversed if it were me. But having Tracer not held down to the camp and able to poke around and roam and be Tracer is kind of nice at the same time. But it's also very slow for Jaina to do camp before levels 4 and 7. Mostly 7. So if I press E again, this camp is... it's close to being dead. It should be dead and capped by this point. So she's like probably 7 or 8 seconds slow doing this camp. So I'd feel like you're not getting much benefit out of the Tracer because you're not even slowing down their camp and allowing your camp to get out first or anything. I feel like this is just a waste of time. Tracer should have been able to do this camp way faster, I feel like. And you don't want to get the camp and then have Jaina have to immediately back if she is low mana. So yeah, I dislike that from Dignitas so far. Same thing here, I would target the lowest minion to try and splash a dismount on the Garrosh. He targets the higher one. I think it actually would have dismounted him here, which makes the escape by Tist much easier, and he probably doesn't get queued. Sake is ridiculously good with these Tyrande queues though. Like, actually ridiculous. Okay, so here, JPL's already used his thing. You're not in any danger. You have Hanzo up here. I would queue near to myself, like very close range, and then just start trading autos into the Tracer like this. Switches to a bomb, splashes it off the minions to secure the hit on the Tracer, even though she's out of range. Well played. Remounts up, of course. He wants to regen shield. Looking at maybe ganking top lane or helping out the Malthael. This is stepping up a little bit far, I think. We do see 2 bottom, so it's only Snitch and Garrosh. Again, he shouldn't really feel threat from Garrosh until past level 4. Because you can Q him and outrange his engage. And he can trade into Snitch very easily. So again, like that bomb, I think, I mean, it's pretty close there. But that bomb, I think, should have gone on Garrosh to dismount him. So, not that one, that one. I mean, that's a pretty fast reaction time. Okay, that's maybe a little bit unreasonable. But still, I would queue him here, except, like, step in a little bit even. Like, you have minions blocking you in front of you. He's not going to be able to throw you. And he's definitely looking for Tist. You can see that just by his, like, posturing, right? Body language or whatever, of where he's moving. And Snitch is also hitting this. So yeah, I would queue, like, over here. Try and dismount the Garrosh. Has the right idea. Trading getting a bomb. It's interesting that he swapped to a second bomb there. Might not have been intentional. Gets another bomb. Good targeting, going for the 2 squishies instead of the wave clear and the tank with armor. And like chunking Tracer, getting chip damage on Tracer, really limits her.
Choose a talent.
So going for the Urel gank while Hanzo's clearing bottom. So the issue is they know that they're gonna lose bottom point, and they can't realistically control it until after these giants are cleared. And that they haven't had control of this delta area, although they do see JPL here. And we know we just chunked Tracer and Malf. I think they could have also gone bottom here, but they probably call that they think they can get this kill on Wubby. And it's probably correct. If they layer all their CC correctly. Because they have Burrow, Impale, and Tyrande Lunar Flare. And they also have Fenix slow. So in this case, because your slow should come after the CC, you actually don't want to queue on the engage here, even though that's normally better for DPS purposes and for your own movement speed. He's going to be locked down for like a solid 3 seconds if you land all your abilities correctly, and if you don't layer the CC correctly, you're not getting the kill anyway, so it doesn't matter. But you should hold Q here for 2 to 3 seconds, and queue him like probably around a half second before the final stun ends, the final stun duration. And that way you build up some movement speed, so he's gonna probably DE if he has it up. out of here, or just charge E and try and jump out, or W first maybe. But you want to stay at range of him so that you don't get W'd backwards. And then you want to have some movement speed, but you want to have your Q duration as long as you can. I mean, the Q slow duration is 7 seconds. So, realistically, is he ever living for longer than 7 seconds here? Before making it to the gate in safety? Maybe not. Maybe it's just fine to Q here immediately. Okay, maybe I'm a little bit wrong there, but... So, it feels like they didn't layer this CC as well as they could have. So that felt like a very short CC duration. So we see E, we see Lunar Flare and Impale coming down at the same time. The Lunar Flare hits about halfway. That was pretty good. It could have maybe been better. If Wubby went this way, because he also got body blocked by his team, I think he might have been able to live. Yeah, I'm really surprised he would jump on Rich here. I think if he jumped this way to get further away from Rich and out of range of his Q, because that just immediately eliminates like 200 damage. I think there's a chance he lives. It's very small, but there's a chance. I guess Malthael still has the W. He probably still dies. But I think that gives him a 1% chance maybe. Switching to bombs again, wave clearing. Thrawn's going for Lunar Flare just to get stacks on her quest thing. I really like this warp. I've always gone around, or before I saw this game, I watched this game live to be whatever fair, but and that's why I remember this warp specifically, is because it was an aha moment for me when I was first learning Fenix, but I don't remember the results or anything. But anyway, this warp was cool that I didn't actually think you could go that far. Going over here is, you can also go like some pretty far distances with it. I think you can actually go from around this corner and get just barely in here. But yeah, that was a cool warp, because I would have probably gone around and then warped over the wall this way previously. So he's doing bomb swapping. He backs out so that once his shield is down, it's more efficient for someone else on his team to tank, because that way he can regen shield, because it takes 5 seconds of not taking damage. So if it's Tyrande or Anubarak taking the damage, it's the same damage no matter who it goes on, and you would probably just want it to be either all on the same person or like split, so that you're both at like 95% health instead of one person at 90%. But then just the Tyrande healing like heals it up or whatever. But the important thing is it needs to not be on Rich, because if it's Rich tanking, then you're going to start a fight with a Fenix at half HP, whereas you could start the fight if his shield is allowed to regen back to full HP. But you've still got the value out of the shield on the camp by taking as much damage onto it as you could. So, in a situation like this where you're maybe trading, like maybe Tracer has a bomb, maybe he doesn't have warp yet because he used it to warp over the wall or something, like there's a potential chance that stuff like that matters, but it's just like good habits kind of thing. I can actually tell that they're playing on lower ping with how fast the phase bomb swap stepping is. That's funny. Like, I can tell that it's about slightly 5 or 10% faster than when I do it, just because I play with like 70 ping and they're playing at 0. Good swap stepping here. Good backing away from the Garrosh. So, you should hold Q until you're going to engage. So in a situation like this, I wouldn't like Q Snitch, for example, even though I think I could actually tag him with it and get a slow on him. Best case scenario, you're going to slow him and then he'll immediately blink away, and then it's fine. Like, you basically traded a cooldown for a cooldown. But I think you would rather save it to go off of a Tist engage or something. But realistically, I don't think you're ever really hard engaging on the Tracer. I think you're mostly just going to splash her with bombs and trade Repeater into her. So he does choose to Q her. That's kind of interesting. It does zone off the Garrosh at the same time, kind of. I think he wanted to hit a slow on Zalia here as well. And it does help wave clear a tiny bit. I mean, it's not bad to use it here by any means. But yeah, Snitch should just blink away as soon as he gets slowed. I don't think Snitch should come back in, though. Yeah, so to me it looks like they were faking going on Snitch, but he was actually wanting to hit the slow on Celia, and that's why Tyrande was aiming there. And you can see Anubarak is just zoning off the garage to allow the Phoenix to play aggressive. He gets the bomb onto all three of them, that's good. The throw is successfully... I don't know what the term for it is. Soaked? You soak a throw? There's a term for it in WoW arenas where you would like take a teammate's hunter trap when they scatter trapped and stuff. I don't know what the term for that is, but whatever. Good Owl. Again, he needs to regen shield before they fight again. They're looking in on Urel. They just see her use E, so that's very good. Anubarak is not with them, however. Gets the slow on her immediately. Dodges the knockback. Sake gets the stun. He's going to go over this wall, or likely this wall, one of the two. But he's walking forward at this case, so I would estimate him to go here. So now, I think it's correct for Rich in this case to just preemptively walk down. And then Wubby should see that and then jump back this way, probably. He has to wait to jump until after the curtain, so that he doesn't get marked. Oh, and he's baiting for JPL, I see. Good, he gets over the wall. JPL's looking for something. Didn't see if he used stun starting this engage. By stun, I mean Garrosh Q. Okay, he doesn't, he's just walking in. You don't have a slow in this case. It's... Snitch is right behind them, Tist isn't there. You want to keep them here, especially Snitch, so that Tist can get a good burrow over this vision, or terrain. So, main job here is Rich should avoid getting thrown, if possible. If Sake is going to get thrown, Rich should get thrown instead because he can warp after the Q. They see Snitch because of Tist, so he's able to get a bomb onto her. The Garrosh Q comes down. He's not in any threat, gets another good bomb. He probably wanted to hit Wubby with that, but not too big a deal. Hanzo's winning bottom. I feel like that shouldn't be possible. I think it's a mistake for Jaina to blizzard this wave. I think she should trade with reset here because they're going to lose top at this point. Wubby can't stand on this realistically without risking dying. Yeah, he has to back up. You should dodge this stun. Wubby. Okay. So yeah, they're just trading, pushing in with the Bruiser Camp here. Good job by Rich. Splashing the sidewall is very nice. It allows people, if they get thrown, to get out. It allows easier dives with like Anubarak or Malthael into towers, which you could do back then, but you can't really do anymore. And just splashing this. You potentially also splash Wubby, so it's potentially hero damage, where you can't repeater Wubby at this case, but it's also just doing 3 damage, or damage to 3 different things, the mid wall, the bottom gate, and the tower, so you're doing 3 damage on the splash. As long as you're splashing 2 things with bomb, and you're doing the swap stepping, 2 is good. Backing off, he missed some Q hits there. You can use Q and hit all 5 structures on the front wall. I've mentioned that before. So it would be slightly more optimal if he was stood higher up and Q'd in a larger radius. I'm not sure why he's playing to the bottom side of the lane in this case. So that's a very minor mistake, missing some damage on the top gate and tower, but not too big a deal. These are still only 2 structures, so phase bomb swapping here is correct. Now he should repeater this. He does 1 bomb, kind of excusable. He's using bomb swapping here again. Again, you can see like Wubby's stepping up, but in doing so he would risk getting splashed for damage, so. In this case, I think he could step up and repeater, and I think he's very favored, wow, to fight Wubby in the spell armor. As long as he doesn't get chain jumped on now that she's level 7. So you have to just use the Q and the movement speed in order to sidestep the Goomba Stomp. Which you can do, but it's sometimes tricky. You kind of have to bait the Urel in, like that type of thing. So yeah, now he's kind of doing the same thing. Good splashing there to hit the whole wave, not just focusing on Wubby and only hitting like these top 4 minions or something. He's looking for the W again, backs off out of range. You can just spam W until she uses the hammer. So Wubby's gonna stand on top. He's going mid to help his team. So Hanzo died bottom. I wanted to see, did Jaina end up using Blizzard on the wave or not? Let's find out. Azalea came down after they were done top lane. She didn't even hit all 3 backline. You would rather not hit a front minion and hit a backline minion? Okay. Let's be through this gun. Yeah, I didn't think Hanzo could safely stay bottom anyway, so. Okay, we're heading back mid. The GPL's chunked. Flick is full bottom. Snitch is half but has regen. They miss a lunar flare. Anubrak doesn't really have a good engage, I would assume. They can catch Azalea here though. He split himself, which is really bad. You should actually still run up here to get ally throne. You shouldn't try and path down. Oh, he gets a good root. That helps him stay alive. And Anubrak doesn't have a burrow, so he's probably safer there than he otherwise would be. I like staying on bomb here. I think it's not your job to interrupt the Tracer in this situation. Your job is not get thrown by Garrosh. So you get the slow on him. Anubrak gets thrown. Here my main targets are Poilk and Zalia. It's up to Tyrande and or Anubrak to stall the Tracer. So yep, trading into Poik and Zalia. This can hit all 4 people. It hits only 3. The Tracer's just barely out of range, that's fine. Dodge Blizzard by pathing up. Good. You can turn around, yeah, repeater this guy. 2, 3. Bomb. I think you could have bombed here. Just stepped in slightly for it. And that way hitting a bomb on both Poik and Zalia. And gotten all 4 heroes. And it doesn't allow Tracer to blink and even dodge the hit on JPL. I would rather hit Poik and Zalia in this case than Snitch. And JPL is a nice bonus. So yeah, I think poking these two, like on these two the damage sticks. On Tracer it doesn't stick, really. And realistically you can't chase her to like finish off a kill if she gets low. Whereas if Zalia and Poik get low, they're both immobile and you can pick them off. Poik steps up too far, gets hit by the slow from Fenix Q. Rich has no shield, gets rooted. He should die here realistically. He gets a warp before the Garrosh can Q, so that was just slow reaction time by JPL. He warps out. He should tap here before pathing down, I think. Maybe it's fine. Oh yeah, they have Tyrande, and Tyrande's busted. Okay, yeah, this is fine, never mind. Yep, just starting on the siege camp makes sense. He got triple hit on every Q hit. Let's see, was this the... Yes, this is before the change to divert weapons, so Q talent is still correct, probably at 7. He's dodging the rocks, not letting his shield get dropped, although as I say that, Rich is reported for dropping his shield on the camp. It happens sometimes. I do that too. I'm flaming out of love. Okay. Brute is down already. Hanzo's pushing up bottom and you'll have the siege camp. So your only job right now is just control the rotation bottom and make them slow to deal with it so that you control bottom for as long as possible and then hope that Malthael can win top lane against Jarell. And that way you can threaten DK. Or you just look for a gank mid. I don't like using the stun on JPL. Especially because this isn't mounted or in range to follow up. But it's also just that you're not going to kill him, I don't think. I would rather hold the stun for a kill. Even though I think this is just a stack. But you'd still want to stack off Talia or somebody, I think. Yeah. Okay, it's fine. This feels a little risky, even though he can only do this because he saw the root go down. Realistically. And he sees Jaina bottom. They keep the wave clear, they're keeping control of their rotation. Malf is rotating down now. You saw Tracer rotating topside. This is a little bit unsafe for Malthael. It's good he's just waiting in the bush and not actually standing on here and getting caught. Rich should just wave clear here. He's only hitting the melee minions. You could definitely step up and splash those. He gets a dismount on Garrosh. This is a really specific niche thing, but in the event that you see somebody mounting near minions like that, you want to not bomb until they actually mount. Which is weird. Because if you just wave clear at your normal raid or whatever and you interrupt their mount like halfway through, they can just mount again like 0.1 seconds later or something. But if they actually fully get the mount off and then are immediately dismounted, then their mount's on cooldown for 3 seconds. So, yeah, you have to hold bomb when you see people mounting until you time it basically as right as their mount finishes, the bomb lands, based on the travel time of how far away you are and stuff. So that way they get instantly dismounted, and then they can't remount up for 3 seconds. So it stalls them even longer from not mounting up and going to wherever they're going. Because they have to be slow walking there for 3 seconds instead of just mounting up again 0.1 seconds or whatever. He's looking to warp over the wall to follow up on a Tist engage and reset Q and a Sake Lunar Flare on Poilk here. Yep. If Jaina steps out, that'll be what happens. They're looking for it. They should probably have a Nubarak go first. I think Rich's warp was a little bit preemptive there, but that's fine. It's mostly just you want Tist to be in towers first, but I guess if he's going to spawn the beetle on this side of the wall, it's fine. So yeah. Now they lost control of the delta pushes. This is kind of a downside of this. They have... What did they use Owl on? They have Tyrande. She used Owl on something. Topside. He's looking for the Tracer. Yeah, that makes sense. So that Malthael can step up. You still can't realistically step up past the halfway point or get on point at this point. Wow, I said point too many times. Okay, you see Tracer mid. Alright. Now you have Owl. So what did we use Owl on? You used it bottom? No, you should use it on Delta here. That's a misplay from Sake. You need to check mid here. You know that it's Jaina bottom, right? Like, what information is this giving you? Even if you see somebody down here, you still can't path through this safely. Like, if you only see one person down here. I don't know. I guess by not seeing people, it's still kind of information that they know they're most likely in here, or on their camp, or on bruisers. But I would have rather just checked it directly. But I guess they have an Uber at Qs, so they can do that. It's kind of unlucky that it didn't dismount the Garrosh, but I think a Beetle or something did anyway, so it's fine. They used Lunar Flare there. Jaina dropped Blizzard. So they're threatening DK. They have Wave Clear here. You definitely go Salvo against that team. There's no real reason to ever go Planet Cracker. Even, like, the only benefit of Planet Cracker is that it's a global. The actual damage of it is not that good most of the time. You would get similar or probably more damage out of Salvo in 99% of situations. Even if they're locked in place the whole, like, time duration. So, again, splashing. He's not splashing the caster minion here, but there is Garrosh nearby. But you know he's in the bottom side, so you could actually still step up and just step sort of 45-degree angled towards the top side and splash the caster, or the mage minion, so that you're splashing all 7. And that way you just have, again, more reaction time to Garrosh coming out of the bush or whatever, and you can always path up here and then warp over this wall. He bombed the single melee minion there. It's kind of unoptimal. They see Garrosh on bot lane, so he can step up aggressively. He's looking for bomb splashes off the mid gate onto the Tracer just to keep her chunked. They use Lunar Flare. They see Garrosh and Tracer. So yeah, he can't step up close to this bush to be in Garrosh Q range. He has to play towards the top side. Good dodge by him. That time he Qs correctly. I just want to watch that back in slower motion, because it demonstrates what I was talking about. Good adaptation from Rich to learn to do this. Or like, he probably knows to do this, like you've run into this situation more than just now, but it's a good adaptation that he does it later in the game. So yeah, he Qs the Garrosh there. You can see that purple 204 number, and the slow effect on Garrosh there is like the purple spinny. So it just barely hits him while he's sidestepping actually, so that was really well played. Good positioning by Rich. This Q could possibly be slightly bigger, but it's fine. Do I like the warp? The problem is if he paths up and tries to warp over this way, there's a chance he gets bursted by Jaina Tracer in that time. Mostly through melee and just Jaina popping all her spells on him. But I think the bigger downside is that now he's here, and the fight is here. and he has to walk all the way around. Probably mount up and then walk all the way around. And then Sake and Tist are out kind of far in this lane, mostly Tist. You can burrow it to safety, I guess, but still, against the 4 of them, and they lose DK pressure. So he wants to stay mid lane to keep up the DK pressure here and look for a kill. But the problem is, he should probably get thrown out of that. I don't think you can Shadow Stalk to prevent throw. I'm not sure how that interaction works. But that was a very heads-up, well-reactive Shadow Stalk by Sake. And the problem is he can't Shadow Stalk until you land from Warp, I believe. I don't think it'll apply if you're in the iframes. Actually, it might, because it might. It probably does, actually. But I'm not sure the invisibility effect does. But the heal over time should. Is it still a heal over time? Yeah. Okay. So Garrosh throws down. Tist is invisible. They see the Unstoppable used. They pop the negative armor. They get the burrow. Gets a good salvo off. He bombed something in melee range. He should have bombed whoever this is, the Malf. Zalia, I guess. To hit all 4 heroes here, mostly the Tracer. Tracer should recall out of this stun, so she won't take much of the salvo damage, but pressuring Zalia and JPL. I didn't see if this bomb actually hit Zalia or not. Let's check that again real quick. Nope, it didn't hit Zalia. I want to check this previous bomb as well, because I think he could have positioned that one better. That one's fine. You can see he keeps the count because he had 1 attack before the warp and then does 2 attacks after the warp and instantly switches to bomb. Here, you could aim it here to hit possibly the Tracer and the Garrosh and to get some wave clear, and maybe Ploik steps up and it also splashes him. So I think aiming it for this minion maybe is slightly better. But they're trying to burst JPL, so he just wants to get the attack out ASAP and then switch back to repeater. So he doesn't want to have a delay on stepping up to a minion. That's kind of fair. Okay, so yeah, this bomb should have hit Zalia. I don't know how much damage it would do, but it's fine. Zalia ends at... That health bar is not correct. What number are you? Okay, I just want to watch Zalia's health. Okay, so first let's look at Fenix. That bomb does 399 damage. I saw 419. Okay, so it technically wouldn't have killed Zalia, but it would have gotten extremely close to killing him. And all it takes is 1 auto attack from somebody else on his team to finish him off. Good swap stepping here for wave clear. Zalia gets thrown rooted. I'm surprised you can't buffer burrow charge before the root comes down. It's weird that you can do that like so instantly. Like if he uses taunt in midair, sure, but I don't think he taunted in midair there, I'm pretty sure. Still gets a burrow out. This Q should be bigger. Yeah, you definitely want to go max range Q here. Gives you more vision of the bush. He Qs the Tracer. I would Q big on JPL and Ploik here. Slowing the Tracer is very unimportant because she has blinks. It's more about slowing the Jaina and JPL and limiting their follow-up, or just being able to counter pressure them by having them slowed and chunked for damage. I don't think Rich can ever start a channel here. He shouldn't even try. It should most likely be Sake channeling stuff. Most of the time. Or Hanzo, if he's here, but he's bottom, obviously. It's interesting that they leave him bottom instead of swapping him and Fenix and having Fenix sort of be the pseudo offlane. Because Fenix should wave clear faster than Hanzo, I think. And then he could join. But maybe Fenix is... I mean, Hanzo is very good at the bottom point with the ricochets. And Fenix is better at ganking top lane, I think. Maybe this is correct. Okay, I just hadn't considered that. Gets a mount up, they're just poking. Garrosh Q comes down. He's queuing Snitch again. Using bombs. You see Garrosh going top, Malthael backed off. Hanzo has come up now at this point. So they're 4v3 here. Yeah, they want to check this bush though. The Garrosh rotating around, good. They saw Yrel on that, just barely. Up at the top here. Top side. So I would estimate Garrosh and Yrel are in this bush, or possibly over here. Or maybe even they've looped all the way, I mean Garrosh, or Yrel hasn't looped all the way around, but maybe Garrosh has looped all the way around and is in here. That would be highly unlikely, but it's technically possible by now, I think. Okay, now they see Garrosh. They see Yrel. They see Snitch looping around. Good pressuring by Rich to not allow the rotation to happen. Prevent her roaming. Good Arsenal rotation. Snitch is split here. He probably has one blink that he can get close to his team. 2. Okay. They just focus on wave clear again. Like, as long as they have this DK pressure, they are completely fine to do this over and over again and just sit here. And they're, they should be getting a lead on XP as well by clearing bottom. Good Q on Garrosh, keep him slowed. Get a good stun on him. Gets a good bomb, chunking Snitch a tiny bit. Tist can't get the channel. Gets a good impale. They use Dragon Arrow because they want to try and burst the Tracer. He should hold Salvo here until after he sees Recall. They don't force out the Recall because Wubby's down here. How the hell did Wubby get here? What? How's Wubby here? The fuck? He rotates all the way down and comes in. Wow, he plays out of vision, goes over the wall. Wubby's a fucking god, dude. What the fuck? Okay. Wubby's like the biggest brain offlaner I've ever seen. Holy shit. Who else ever makes that rotation in that way? Like, what the fuck? I'm getting mindfucked right now. That's crazy shit. I've never seen anybody do that rotation in my life. Okay, alright. Wubby's a god. Alright, I understand. I'm fully aware. So Wubby's just fucking here. Like, I'm expecting him here. That's so... How do you even deal with that shit? Like, the worst thing is you have Owl and Sonic Arrow. Like, you have two insane long-range vision mechanics. And you still can't keep track of them. Imagine if you didn't have those. What would you do? Okay, so backline is just gonna get jumped on. They're not gonna be able to pressure Tracer. They get Welly popped. Why don't they, like, hard engage into that, though? They see the Welly get popped? Because, like, they're committing heroics. I mean, they committed just Dragon Arrow, I guess, so far. They're just wanting to back off and clear that thing. So, Wubby's insane and he gets knocked in. He gets stunned by something. Oh, just by the knockback? And then cleansed, and then immediately rooted, and taunted. He can't get cleansed a second time, gets thrown, they miss the Q, but Rich is definitely dead at this point. Snitch is chunked. The other Dignitas DPS is in Cocoon on Jaina. Zaylee is full HP. Hasn't used Dream. Okay, so they just lost this team fight. I think the problem was they just didn't commit when they used Dragon Arrow. I think that was a fine engage and a good time to commit. Like, okay. First of all, they need to do this engage when Malthael is closer, because Malthael should be here. And then what Malthael needs to do is step up, and then last rights the Garrosh. And Tist just needs to dive in and body block. Tist can die. Like, Tist dying does not matter. But he just needs to dive in and get here, and then they just kill JPL. And then what do they do? How do they teamfight without JPL? Like, their comp doesn't work. So, and then what else happened here? He has another Q. He does get cleansed out of the taunt. And JPL just throws immediately? That's insane. Because he was taunted. And you could have thrown Tist. But he, like, knew that it would get cleansed immediately, so he threw, like, proactively to secure the kill. I mean, because he knows the kill's secured at this point. Especially if he interrupts warp. So, what interrupted warp there? Let me... Or when did he try and warp is my question. I think there's a chance that I even actually just salvoing here is correct. Just to force Snitch to recall. Because I don't think he can get healed up in time. So are they backing off to avoid a Moonfire? What's their purpose of backing up and not committing? That's so weird. Okay, so he tried to warp somewhere in there. Whatever, it doesn't matter. He tried to warp like immediately after the Urel knockback, I guess, but the root came down and stopped it. Speaking of, Zayli is a god too. Okay, so they do get the counter kill on Garrosh with last rights. Kyocha's gonna die. Sake has to step through Blizzard. Okay, he has to step around Blizzard. The problem is Reset doesn't have near enough damage to carry a teamfight at this point. Wubby's low but still has ult. Yeah, they're just gonna kill Tist. And they can't threaten DK. They're just gonna get DK threat themselves. Are they back up in time? Probably not, so they just have to go to one of the points and hope that they can trade onto it. They double trade into Webby here. He should preemptively throw a Lunar Flare down here. Does he not have it? Doesn't have it. What did he use it on? Reset's fine. Like, as long as you're healing him, that's fine. But he's already jumped. And he can't follow a second jump. So your job is just to hold Lunar Flare to interrupt jump, right? I guess he could DW or DE to do it. So what does he use D on? I don't know, but he didn't use it on jump. I want to see what he used jump on. Or DW on. What did Webby trait in this?
Choose a talent.
Well chosen.
He traits the heal. That's probably a misplay. Granted, he thinks it's only Hanzo at this point. And he needs the heal immediately, but still. Yeah, okay, so I think there's like multiple misplays kind of happening here. But I think Sake needs to hold it to interrupt an E. If they interrupt E, like in here, and the stun comes down here and it doesn't allow Webby to go over the wall, and that scatter lands, I think they just kill him. So that's a slight misplay. They're getting top now. Rich is getting bottom. So why did they all rotate out of bottom? Jaina got it. They see them fighting topside. Now they're fine. Do they want Jaina in the mech or do they want Tracer in the mech? They path Tracer up to look for a kill. Garrosh is going up as well to defend. She checks the bush. I think this should be Snitch. I think Jaina should have sat bottom. They pretty much guarantee DK here if Jaina sits bottom. Wow, they actually got it. That was very close to not getting that DK. Okay. Now Phoenix clears bottom and then just has to pump damage into DK. You'd probably still just go regular auxiliary shields. Rapid recharge is pretty good with Tyrant though. Okay, had to sneeze for a second. Alright. Back to the game. He does go auxiliary shields. Okay. So he's just gonna put damage into DK. Notably, it's very hard to warp the DK kick. You can do it, technically. I think you need movement speed from your Q and to be at like max range to be able to do it though. It's very hard to do on reaction. Granted, they're playing on lower pings, so it might be a tiny bit easier. But for me at least, it's unreliable. Let me put it that way. It's close, it's extremely close, but unreliable. And I probably get kicked more often than I warp in that situation. So it's not even like a 50-50 or better. It's like maybe a 25% chance that you get the warp off. I don't know if you need the movement speed or not. I'm just using that as possibly a reason why it only works around 25% of the time for me. Or just my reaction times are bad. And or ping. The combination. Okay, so just spamming arsenal rotations on that. I actually think holding the bomb here is correct for the wave. I don't think he was doing that intentionally. He only hit 2 of the wave, it's not too bad. I think he also hit Snitch, so that's fine. Use the bomb on the wave there, that's fine too. Just as stalling the Snitch rotation. They see him get cocooned. He's gonna have recall and 3 blinks, I think, or just 2 blinks. What is this Hanzo arrow getting used on? To save Kyocha. Tracer's coming out of cocoon and very isolated. They get the stun. There's the recall. She's gonna come straight back to that position though. Sake should not preemptively cast a Lunar Flare because I don't think the delay is long enough because Lunar Flare is 1 second, 1.5 seconds. It's 0.75, but recall is only 0.65. It doesn't say. I think it's 0.65. They just mentioned it in the patch notes the other day. He steps up to Kyocha. Now they get the Lunar Flare after he's used all the blanks. They just get the last rites. Okay, yeah, that's just a kill scare. Good. Now they rotate down to clear rest of DK. Rich should not be the first one to go here, I don't think. Actually, he should step in range and then preemptively warp to dodge the kick. And he should warp this way. Or this way. Down. Because Jaina has to escape. Jaina can't escape this way. She has to escape this way, right? That's her only chance somehow. But then where is she going? Okay, Jaina's just dead. But she's more dead if there's 4 people than if there's 3 people. She just cancels it because she knows she's dead. And doesn't want to stall a kill. Or a death. Cool. Or a stagger death. They get bot camp for free. Alphail doesn't do that camp. Swap stepping here correctly. He's missing Q hits on some of them, but it doesn't matter. You have 3 people. It's fine. Bomb on these. Yep. So now he's queuing to hit all 5 of the front structures. I'm not sure in this situation what's correct a lot of the time. Whether hitting the tower, the well, or the fort is correct in these types of situations. I think repeatering something is probably correct, because that top wall is less important. So bombing doesn't seem very important to me. If you think you can secure the fort, I think getting the fort is best. And then secondarily, probably the tower and then the well. If you think you can only get one structure, I think I would prioritize the well and then the tower. I don't think it matters too much. It's just something that there isn't a clear answer to me. And there most of the time is. So he's focusing the tower first, and then the well. Which to me says that they don't think they can secure the fort guaranteed. So they want to get the well guaranteed, and then if they have to back out, they can. But it looks like they're getting the fort. Wubby's here now. They don't have Malthael. They don't want to fight them before 16, so he gets a bomb splash off. I think Rich should not get queued here. Okay. I think this is still kind of playing a bit too much with fire. Good damage onto Snitch, though. They used Ally Throw. Here's the problem. If Zaylee is in range and you get rooted, you are dead. Sake can cleanse him, but he already got Warp Interrupted. So yeah, Rich dies again. I think this is just Rich playing over-aggressive and gets punished for it again. Tracy used a bomb there, I think. That seems like a misplay because he was guaranteed kill even without the bomb. I think that was fairly clear and obvious, but maybe they don't know that they canceled the warp. But even still, I think he's guaranteed dead, so I don't know. I would rather save the bomb. If you're gonna have to use some CC there, use like Taunt or something. Starting next camp. Siege camp is pushing bottom. So he starts going top to help his team, but they get a trade kill. He has a bomb charged up, he's clearing the wave. In this situation, it's correct to clear the giants and leave the minions on the wave, even though you'll lose shield, because they're in range of the structures and getting guaranteed structure damage. So the longer you leave it alive, the more guaranteed structure damage you take. And it's unhealable damage, so... Good wave clearing there. Doesn't want to step on bottom because it's risky, and as long as they have top point, he's fine. They have no risk of a DK threat from the other side. Good Sonic Arrow. Good wave clear. They're just going to try and gank whoever goes top lane. They will have to clear bottom eventually from that siege camp. They want to just secure top for it. Don't want to get flanked. They only see Urel. They don't know where the rest are. They have to be very careful. Good jump by Hanzo. Rich is playing a little bit aggressive here. It's very hard to play this aggressive against Zalia. I think he's very good at hitting roots. I'm not sure why Rich feels safe enough to do this so often, but it's kind of surprising to me. So Cocoon comes down. Dream has gone out already. We're using Salvo here. Kyoch is pretty much almost dead. This Salvo, to me, JPL is going to get cocooned. Snitch is going to recall it every time. It hits him out of the recall because he used the recall on Kyocha but didn't secure the kill. He may or may not have missed Parting Gift. We'll leave that up as an exercise to the viewer to go back and figure out for themselves. Rich is going to warp probably this way or this way. I would go this way, I think. I don't see the point of going up. If anything, it just further isolates you, and if the rest of your team backs off and they can, Dignitas can press in and control this area, then you're just dead. If they know where you warped, which they won't see you, because if you warped this way, you would have been in vision, most likely. So then you're just dead in this case. So yeah, I think warping to the right is correct. Okay. Good damage on Poilk. They're letting Kyocha go first. Contesting the point. How much damage is bot lane getting? So far, half a tower. Rich is just wave clearing. They get huge damage on Wubby. Tist is looking in. I think he probably should have burrowed earlier. Because worst case scenario, he's here, and they're still up here, and Wubby still has nowhere to go. And she chooses to either try and jump over and impale, or get autoed by a Nubarak and die or something. Maybe they can blow up a Nubarak fast enough, but that seems unlikely. Granted, they didn't see Poilk until now. I think they could have got this kill on Wubby, but maybe not. Oh, they do somehow. Tehran snipes. Nice. Alright. They get a Q on Snitch. He gets Ally Thrown, saved from the Rich Bomb. Good triple splash there on JPL, Poik, and Snitch. It's just using Bomb there. Switches back to Bomb for a second, then back to Repeater. I think he needs to just charge up a Repeater on either JPL or Snitch. JPL would be the more reliable target, but he gets the Bomb. This is where you warp in. Warp in, Bomb. These... Oh, pain. pain. That's like a triple kill missed, my dude. Ooh. It's very hard to aim the bomb out of warp because it basically buffers your attack command. And so you'll just attack the nearest thing. Which in this case was minions. But that was extremely close. I'm gonna let this play for a second. Okay, Hanzo gets the snipe. I'm gonna let this play for just a second. And Garrosh dies to Malthael dot or something? Okay, so I just want to see here. Like, he hits, I think, this minion? Or that minion? The mage or the upper mage? And he hits the second dude. I think it would have hit Poik. I don't think it would have hit Zalia or Snitch. And Poik is the one that dies to the arrow? Okay. So it probably doesn't technically miss a kill. But maybe it does. The other question now is, did he have movement speed before he warped? He should have, because he was just queuing, or just autoing the tracer. I can't see if he has movement speed or not. I want that character box to show up. It never does in replays. It's annoying. Is there anything on his team that gives him movement speed? Not really, huh? I'm very surprised Hanzo went this talent, even though he's Q build. Don't you still normally go Pierce? This talent seems really bad to me. I've never used it, but... Okay, well, I like the aggression. He tried for it. I don't know how Garrosh died. Oh, Garrosh was the one up by the fort. Okay, yeah, never mind. They're just gonna get a DK. They're up a level for level 20s. Just got both of the towers and the wall. Using your Breck to secure the bottom fort. Beetle? Beetle MVP, dude. Wave clear. Step up. I like using repeaters now. You're just trying to kill structures. Gets a Q on Tracer. She forces a blink out. They have no fear of Webby. Cool positioning by Tist. Keeping vision on the flank. Good anchoring as well. Using bomb here is definitely correct. You don't want to get rooted, don't want to get queued by Garrosh. Even bombing Snitch is correct here. You don't need a repeater. Has to be aware of getting Webby jumped on and knocked back in. Just bomb this tower. Good. Dodges the Webby. So he gets ally thrown and then jumped on. That's such a cool play. Dignitas is good, my dudes. Dignitas was insanely good. Like, not only did they think to do that, but they know to do it, and they communicated it, and executed it at, like, the right time. Like, that's some shit that you come up with, like, in replay review. And then you're like, well, I'll never remember to do that in a real game, and even if the situation comes up where I could do it, the other guy won't remember, and they won't be able to follow up on me throwing them first, and, like, all that stuff. Like, the fact that this actually happens in a game is mind-boggling to me, but okay. So he gets knocked back in. JPL's gonna step in. He gets kicked by DK. Good by him. Did JPL have Unstoppable? Looks like no. Not sure what he used it on, but that's interesting. So now Rich is live. He gets cocooned. Webby should ult here immediately. Good. They use Hanzo arrow. You don't want to use Salvo here. They just should focus Garrosh out of the cocoon. They get a throwdown. Gets a bomb out, then salvos. I like this salvo, even if it only forces a recall from Snitch. Doesn't force the recall. They get the kill on the mouth. And now they just walk in for a win. They're doing a good job of staying grouped here, getting good damage pressure. Nice, they get the kill on the no ulti rel. They waste a blink on Snitch, getting insane poke damage on the Jaina. Nice try on the Q. He's stepping away from the minions so that his allies tank them so that he keeps as much shield as possible. Alright, yeah, that was well played by Genji. Rich is insanely good Phoenix player. He pretty much did everything correct the whole game. Let's see. Do I agree with his level 16 talent? Yes, in this game you're not going to get value out of Photonic Weaponry Salvo on Tracer a lot of the time, and focusing down Urel and Garrosh is very strong with offensive cadence. I like the cheat death, even though it didn't really help him or save him at all. He definitely was playing over-aggressive and dying. There's a chance that Singularity Charge would have been good here also, because the chances are the only way he dies realistically is if he's getting CC'd, and in that case the shield won't save him. So it would be better to have the range and the attack speed to kill people before they can kill you in weird 1v1 situations with like the URL, or just having the range to poke safer on the push and stuff. So I think the 20 is actually, this is a case where Singularity Charges may be better, but Unconquered Spirit's never bad, so. But yeah, otherwise, well played. He warped pretty much correctly. He aimed bombs pretty well. Missed a couple bomb splashes that he could have done maybe, but otherwise, bomb stopping was definitely on point. I learned some stuff in the replay when I first watched it, and the same thing now that I hadn't noticed the first time. Wubby impressed me, especially on Urel. He's insane. Sake impressed me with his cleanses. Zaylia impressed me with his roots. Yeah, these teams are like by far better than most of the other HGC teams I've looked at in the past, I think. This feels like what Pro Hots should have, like, the whole time. Like, everybody should have been on this level, I feel like. But yeah, that's really cool. Cool. I liked watching this replay a lot. Yep. There's probably a reason why Rich is considered the best Hots player. The GOAT, as far as the past is concerned. So yeah, definitely cool. I'll probably watch more games from him. I don't know which game will be next for me to do, but I've got a handful of others planned, probably like another 20 or so. So if we want to keep these up, I'll keep trying to do that.